Hello and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Shuriken Sentai Ninninger review for you today. This is Shuriken Gatai DX Shurikenjin. He has two modes, the robot mode, which you see here, and also a dragon mode, pictured here. Now, as you can see from the glossy, shiny silver sticker, I was able to get one of the ones that comes with the 3 extra Shuriken blades, which I will show you. On the side here, it has the 5 Otomonin, and then a picture of the dragon mode. And on this side, it has the 5 Otomonin, and then the robot mode of Shurikenjin. On the back, kind of the same deal, shows you the different Otomonin, the 2 modes, how the Otomonin Shuriken can interact with the Ichibanto, which we will also take a look at. Picture of the Shuriken on the top. Picture of the 2 modes here on the bottom. So, we will go ahead and take a look at the stuff inside this box. Alright, so first I'll be taking a look at all the Shuriken pieces that come with this. This is the Otomonin Shuriken core. As you can see, it is black, as opposed to the other Shuriken cores we've gotten so far, which has been a light gray color. This will eventually become the face of Shurikenjin. This can lift up. You can see the print down here. If you press the button on the back, it says Otomonin Shuriken, and then it will cycle through all the different Otomonin names. So, those are the 5 Otomonin. Now, these are the 2 blades that come with any version of Shurikenjin. You have the red Shuriken blade, which has these extra gold crest pieces for the kind of head of Shurikenjin. And then you have the blue one, which has the extra crest pieces for the head of the dragon mode. Now, I don't know, these feel like a little bit flimsier plastic to me than the normal red blade. But, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with them. They just seem to be a little bit flimsier plastic. Now, when you pop these on, they're a little difficult. You kind of have to push it all the way back till you kind of hear a click. And then you can turn it. Now, with this core, you're not going to hear any activation sounds because it's on the back. And since it makes those sounds even with no blade attached, it doesn't make any kind of activation sound the way the individual Ninninger's cores do. But you can still click it on. So putting those aside, the 3 extra blades that you get, a white, a yellow, and a pink. As far as I can tell, this is exactly the same as the Shiro Ninja Shuriken blade, which, if I have handy, here we go. They look pretty much identical. I don't think there's anything different. Same level of plastic. Pretty much identical. So, I'm assuming that these will eventually be the same as the yellow one we will get and the pink one we will get. But they're nice to have. I mean, I really think the only reason they included them is just so that if you wanted to... Whoops, wrong way. If you wanted to reenact how these look on the show right now, just so you could, because in the show, in the first episode, they each got their own core with their own color, so they could summon their own Otomonin. So I think it's just so that you could reenact that if you wanted to. Otherwise, they don't really do anything. They don't have any purpose with Shurikenjin. They're really just to be ornamental on the Otomonin Shuriken core. So, that's just kind of what they do. So, if you end up getting a Shurikenjin that doesn't have these, you're not really missing out, because you'll eventually get them with the actual Ninninger cores. So, really, you're just a little preview. But anyway, that's it for the core, so we'll move on to the Otomonin themselves. Sorry, I lied. I forgot that we need to take a look at the core in the Ichibanto. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And for the purposes of this, I'm going to go ahead and just put the red blade on. I really don't think it matters. I think you could just go ahead and put this in with no blade on because the blade really doesn't do anything. But if you pop this in, It's just going to trigger, I mean, when you press the trigger, it triggers the button on the back of the core. So it's just going to say whatever the, the next Maru is that needs to be the next Otomanine. But if you press the summon button, so it's just going to say whatever Otomanine is next up in the cycle. It doesn't matter at all which blade you have on. And just to prove my theory, although I guess it will be harder to spin. So there you go. At least now the sounds match up when you hit the call button. It will, the sounds match up, that it doesn't overplay like it did before with one of the Ninninger Shuriken. So going to pop this back on. But there you have it. That's the sounds that it makes in the Ichibanto. It does summon the Otomanine, which is very, very cool. So up first we have Shinobi Motto. And I think he looks great. I like the detailing on him a lot. Really nice gold, red accent paint here. Nice gold paint here on the chest. And I'll zoom in so you can take a look at the design on his chest. And his head sculpt. Very, very cool. The head does move 360. So that you can hide it during the transformation for dragon mode. The arms can move, but the arms are a little bit softer plastic than everything else. So, and something to note, this piece on the end here does not move. Just the arm piece moves in between it and the body. So, as you can see there, just be careful with it. I mean, I don't think you're going to break it, but it's just a little tight. And you make sure you don't want to pull by the arm. I would definitely move it by the shoulder, because it's just a little soft. But otherwise, I think he looks great. I really, really like the design of him. Now, of course, he doesn't have a lot of posability in the legs or anything, but they are coming out with a highly articulated and detailed version in the Super Sentai Artisan line, which I believe is being released in May. So if that's something that you're really interested in, take a look at that. That, like I said, should be coming out in May. But I think for the purposes, this guy works perfectly great. Next up, we have Dragon Maru. And this guy might be my favorite of all five. I mean, he's blue, which is my favorite color, so he's got that going for him. But he's just really cool. I really, really like the design of the head sculpt. I wish the mouth opened, but it's not that big a deal. I just really think it's cool. Now, he has little arms too that can move, but they are a much harder, more solid plastic than Shinobi Maru's arms. He also has the design on his chest. It's recessed, so it's a little hard to take a look at it. And he's got this big tail on the back, which is very awesome. This, of course, will later on become the sword for Shurikenjin. But I really like the wings as well. I just overall love the design of this guy. I think the dark blue and the black and the red, all the colors go together very well. Definitely an excellent looking Otomanine. Alright, here we have Dump Maru. Just kind of your basic dump truck. He's got kind of a, I don't know, weird engine or something sticking out the side here. And then he's got what kind of looks like the the Yellow Ranger, but it's the Key Ninja, sorry. His faceplate, it kind of looks like his mask there, or shape of his shuriken. But overall, just a kind of standard dump truck. The top here is open, and if you want, you can lift this up. On the show, they had these things lift up and kind of throw weapons, or like, not necessarily throwing stars, but the kind of like spiked balls that went on the ground and then the monster stepped on them. So that's kind of cool. The other thing that's cool about this is you can bring Shinobi Maru back in and he can stand in here. So he can either stand, or if you want to have him sit, he can sit as well. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice little feature there. You can kind of have him riding around in there if you like. But overall, Dump Maru is pretty cool. So here we have Maru. He's very, very tiny. Easily the smallest Otomanin out of all 5. And he doesn't have a lot of articulation as far as the legs go. Really just, this can come a little bit forward. This can go a little bit back. The tail doesn't move. But there's just something fun about him. He kind of reminds me of like a husky with the white color and the blue eyes. His mouth can open, so I like that. That's cool. And he's kind of got this like blade that he's holding in his mouth, which is pretty neat. Overall, he's not a super impressive Otomanin, but he just is a lot of fun just because I kind of like his design. And last but certainly not least, we have Motto, which is the Momo Ninja's Otomanin, the Pink Ranger. Nice design here on the front. I do like the pink. It's weird to get a train Otomanin, especially right after Tokuger, which was an entire Sentai based on trains. But, oh well, what are you going to do? It's a decent train. It rolls pretty nice. I think you can kind of see that this will become the legs of Shurikenjin. So, there's that. Now, this part is open. So, much like Dump Maru, you can bring another Otomanin in to ride. So there is Maru chilling out in Motto. So not a whole lot to say about this one. It's just a long train that becomes legs. But overall, it's pretty cool. So now that we've taken a look at all 5 Otomanin separately, we'll go ahead and start getting them combined into Shurikenjin. I'm going to just kind of move these off to the side for the moment, as we'll start with these two. So as I said before, this guy's going to basically become the legs. You're going to just fold them down, and you can pull these forward. And there you go. You're going to take Maru, push the legs in, push the head forward, and then he's just going to pop right into that recessed area that he was sitting in earlier. So now I'm going to move this up. You're going to bring in Dump Maru, and let me back this up. Now this front section of Dump Maru will pop off, just like that. And this section will fall forward and snap into place. You're going to bring this around. Bring these two down like that. And then he's got a slide track here on the back. And he will slide in right here. And you'll hear a click. And there you have that. Okay, so now we're going to take what was the leftover piece here of Dump Maru. Come around to the front. This whole piece right here is going to rotate out. And that will expose the fist, which will drop down, which you then turn 90 degrees. And then this wheel will also go down. So now you've got an arm, which you'll plug on right here. You're going to take Dragon Maru and kind of disassemble him. You're going to take the wings off first, because they plug into part of the tail / sword. Then unplug this piece. You'll see here there's a clip, so you're just straighten him out and clip him in. The directions say you can leave the hands out, but I kind of like to just push them up just to kind of make it a little bit more streamlined. Then you're going to swing this part around to expose the fist. Go ahead and pop him on. These two pieces will actually peg together to form a kind of shield, which you can bring around, and there's these two black pegs here on the side of the dragon's fist or dragon's feet, and then these two will plug right in there. So there you go. Now he has a bit of a shield. Take the sword, pop that in his other hand. Very simple. Next, you're going to take Shinobi Motto, put him in his sitting stance, just like that. Now you're going to kind of want to, these are going to be like the little control pieces. You want to kind of move them around to the back. And then you can go ahead and plug him in It's a little difficult to kind of get them. You have to push him in and you'll hear him snap. Then you kind of have to pull the hands up a little bit so that you can get them on the controls. And this is why I believe they had to make the hands out of a little bit softer plastic, because they needed to be a little pliable so that you could get them on top of these controls. Because if it was hard plastic and you had to click the whole hand up, it would mess around with the inside here. So I'm pretty sure that's why they had to be soft plastic. But anyway, once he's on the controls there, you're going to bring in your Otomonin Shuriken, push the head out, just like that, and then drop it right on top. So there you go. It says Shurikenjin with a little bit of fanfare music there, which is very fun. I think he looks cool. It is a little weird to have a robot in his chest piloting it, kind of like an Exo Squad or a Gundam or something like that. But it's really grown on me. I thought it was kind of weird at first, but I really kind of like it. And it seems like that's going to be kind of the gimmick. Not so much the gimmick, but the other Otomonin that are scheduled to come out are all little robots that will sit inside and pilot it instead of him. So it looks like, depending on who the pilot is, you're going to get a new headpiece for Shurikenjin. So that's kind of how the auxiliary Zords or Otomonin will work for this season. But I think he looks pretty cool. He's definitely a random mishmash of, you have a train, a dump truck, a dragon, a ninja, and a dog. But it's fun. It kind of works. It's just nuts. Now he's got a giant port on the back here, if you can see that. So that's going to be used for something. He's got little clips on the side here. He's got clips on the side of his legs down here. He's got clips underneath. So there's definitely going to be all kinds of stuff that you can combine to this dude with the other stuff that will come out throughout this line. So I'm very excited. I think it's a very cool mecha. It's definitely off the wall, but it works in its weirdness. I don't know. It's just really neat. And I'm really excited to see what else is going to be coming out for the rest of this year. But before we're done with this review, he does have one more form. Alright, so for his next form, his dragon form, you're basically going to switch Shinobi Maru and Dragon Maru. I've taken the liberty of taking them all off and disassembling them from Shurikenjin. I've also gone ahead and put the blue blade, or the Aoi Ninninger blade, on the Otomonin Shuriken. So basically what you're going to start with is you're going to come to the body of Shurikenjin and kind of pitch him forward a little bit. Just having him bend forward. You can come around to the back and take the dragon tail, and there's two clips right here. Just pop that right on. Those two clips I showed you up here, and let me pan up. You can go ahead and attach the dragon wings. So you can see the dragon form is starting to take shape. Oops, sorry. You're going to take Shinobi Motto, and you can actually fold his legs in half, and that's going to expose a fist. Then you can go ahead and turn that head 180 degrees, and then I like to just kind of point the arms up like this, and attach him as an arm. Bring the other arm of Dump Maru forward. Alright. Then you're going to take Dragon Maru, take his body and put him at kind of a 90-degree angle. And you kind of want to make sure that the control things are pointed straight back like that. You can go ahead and plug him in and then push the hands down. Now I kind of like to bring these gold pieces underneath, and let me move the arm out of the way, up to meet the feet of the dragon. I don't think it matters, but it's just a personal preference. You're going to take the Otomonin Shuriken, take Shurikenjin's face, and put it all the way up so that it becomes the mouth of the dragon head with this shuriken, as you can see there. And then you're going to attach this part, this hole that's in the shuriken, to these two gold pieces on top of the dragon's head. So he says Shurikenjin Drago. I think this is a very, very cool mode. I like it a lot. I think it's neat that you can get different modes depending on who's piloting the middle part here of Shurikenjin. And as I said before, with all the other Otomonin that are coming out, the only two, actually I've seen 3 announced so far. There's an elephant, a UFO, and then kind of a surfboard submarine type thing. And it looks like all of them will be our little robot that will take the place of Shinobi Maru and then come with a different shuriken to go ahead and put on top of here. So I think it's really cool. I really like this dragon mode. I think it's pretty neat. And if you ever want to hear the sounds again, you can just go ahead and press the button on top. So I think it's pretty neat. I like this dragon mode a lot. It's not, the most convincing dragon mode we've ever gotten, but I dig it. I like it a lot. And you can open the mouth and close it a little bit if you like. So that's neat. Now, if you want to take this off, there are 2 buttons on the side of the dragon's head. The actual dragon, not the Shuriken dragon head. Press them in, and it will come right off. So just a couple other things I wanted to go over real quick. You can have a little bit of fun with this guy. As I've shown here, you can, if you want to attach the dragon wings to the back while he's in robot mode, you certainly can. It might hinder the articulation of the arms a little bit. Not a terrible lot, but just be wary of that. But he kind of looks cool like that. And you can even leave the dragon shuriken on and do the regular Shurikenjin head because they're not specific. You could even take it off and put no blade on if you just wanted the core on top. So you can play with it a little bit in ways like that, which I think is kind of fun. Go ahead and take these off. The other thing about this is it's got a great amount of articulation for a Sentai toy. I mean, the legs can move all about, which usually is not the case. They can go out to the side. You can kind of get them, all the way out to the side. You just have a little bit of clearance there. So you got great articulation here on the hips, but he's also got knee articulation, which is pretty awesome. So I think that's pretty neat. And then you can to move these, you have little clips. There's one here on the side. And for this one, it's a little bit up higher to put them back down. So be aware of that. But you could do some kind of crazy jumping pose or something like that. So it's just a ridiculous amount of articulation for a Sentai toy. It's really nice that they've kind of, come a long way and are able to give us an awesome toy with 5 awesome Otomonin, but then also give the combined form some great articulation. So I think that's really awesome. Another thing that's fun, you can go ahead and take this off, and literally any shuriken that you've gotten so far will work. That's why all these little heads flip up. So you could go ahead and attach this. It doesn't make any activation sounds or anything, but you can press the button on top. And that just makes the growl sound for Maru. But I think that's neat. I think it's crazy that, we're going to be getting tons of shuriken as this line continues, so you can just mix and match and go crazy and put whatever kind of shuriken you want on top of here. So I think that's a neat feature. It just adds a lot of playability. There we go. So yeah, overall, really impressed with this guy. I think this guy is a ton of fun. I really can't recommend him enough. He's such a weird hodgepodge of the Otomonin that they chose. You have a ninja, a dragon, a dump truck, a train, and a dog. It's all over the place, but it's fun. I heard something that because this is the 40th anniversary of Sentai, but it's not the 40th team because the original Go Ranger ran for 2 years. So they wanted to do something for the 40th anniversary where they kind of pulled something from every year. So I think that's pretty cool if that's true. Because they're definitely all over the map, but it works. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, the dragon and the ninja are probably my 2 favorites. I just love the design of them. But Maru's also a lot of fun. And the train is fun. The dump truck is probably my least favorite, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's just, it's weird. It's a random dump truck with ninjas. I don't know. But I love this thing. I can't recommend it highly enough. Now, if you haven't gotten one by now, you're probably not going to get the special incentive for the first wave that comes with these extra shuriken blades. But you're really not missing out on anything because you're probably going to be getting those from other toys. So it's really just kind of a preview. I mean, we already have the white one from the Shiroi Ninja Shuriken from the belt buckle. The yellow and pink are on their way. They'll be coming out in the next month or so. So again, don't feel bad if you're not getting that because you're not really missing out on a ton because they don't do a lot in reference to Shurikenjin. They're just kind of additional play value if you're popping them on the Shuriken just aesthetically. So I definitely recommend this guy. If you're thinking of collecting the Ninja toys, definitely go out and grab him. He's a lot of fun. I can't praise him enough. I got no complaints about this guy whatsoever. But please tell me what you think in the comments below. Please like and share this video. Please make sure you're subscribed. I hope you've enjoyed this look at DX Shurikenjin from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger. And thanks for watching.